My dear friends, once more, welcome to this night edition of our program, Demystifying Academic Research. In this program, we try as much as possible to break down some of the challenges that we may encounter in academic fairs. We also try to share our experience in helping people to travel abroad for further studies. And of course, we help with our experience in mental health. The program today is actually designed for us to have a talk on the procedure to gain doctoral admission. What does it take for one to become a doctoral student? What are the procedures? And what are the differences between the admission for the master's program, for instance, and admission for the doctoral level? Once more, my name is Micheal Ujuh Bukah, and I'm glad that you are there. Please, if you are a returning subscriber, please, we are glad to have you, and we appreciate you for always being there. And if you are joining us for the very first time, and you are interested in further education, you are interested in traveling abroad, you are interested in knowing something about your mental health, garnished with the scripture, then you have come to the right place. Are you interested in doing further studies, in carrying out research, then you have come to the right place. In this program, we make a response to your question. We make intelligent and tested responses and suggestions for you to see and take your own decision, and for you to take an informed decision based on the findings that you will see presented before you. This program of today, my dear friend, is meant for us to handle the issue or work on the question how to gain admission for the Ph.D. level. What does it take to become a doctoral student? We'll try to make a comparison between having admission for the master's program and that of the doctoral program. Dear friend, we'll get directly into the point. I want to make it very clear that doctoral admission or become a doctoral student is in several domains different from doing a master's program or gaining a master's admission. To put it generally, in master's admission, students may be taken in a block, in a group, and put in the same class, and they study, they have a certain curriculum, the same thing, everybody almost the same thing in that master's program, master's degree program, until they end. And then they will graduate, they have their certificate, most of them graduate together, or some people may fail and they repeat, things like that. As a matter of fact, in the master's admission, there's an admission committee that sits and selects the students that come for the master's program, just like for the undergraduate program. So there's an admission committee organized or put in place by the university that does the selection for the students. And there are certain criteria that may apply to every other person for the master admission program. But my dear friend, here is the difference when it comes to the doctoral admission. In the doctoral admission, most often than not, it is not a special committee put in place that does the selection. Most often than not, it is the professor that selects the students that he or she wants. Take for instance, in a school in a program where they deal with lab, maybe there's a project to investigate the new causes of the COVID virus, the variant, or malaria, or syphilis, or whatever, and the project handed to a certain professor, maybe Professor Dr. Tinyami Eritandi, for instance. And the Professor Dr. Tinyami Eritandi will now look into the program. We now go look at how many students does he need that will help him in this research project to achieve the goal that is supposed to be for 5 years or more. Those students, it will be advertised now like PhD positions. And so the Professor Dr. Tinyami Eritandi will now select the students that he needs based on certain criteria that this particular student can help him to achieve the goal of this project. So in a nutshell, the selected doctoral students are those that suit the program. So there's a particular program, which means if they are working on, say, issues like cholera, and then you prefer to work on syphilis or on typhoid, you may not be selected, or based on your interest or based on your qualification. So it is based on the project that is in place that students are selected for the doctoral program. And like I want to insist that the selection is done by the professor, him or herself. They may not submit the names to the university, who will just do the approval. That's the first point. The first part is in any order. The one that the university advertises, the professor through the university advertises the office or the position for a certain number of doctoral students needed. The second point is the student, him or herself, can search the background of potential professors whom he or she thinks that can be interested in his program. Now, you introduce your program to these potential full-time professors. I use the word full-time professors deliberately. It's not a coincidence, because like in our university, only full-time professors can supervise doctoral students. So they will equally have who are associate professors, assistant professors, or part-time teachers. They may have the doctoral degree, they may be professors at other universities, but they cannot supervise you if there are no full-time professors in that university. Get the point? So if you now, for instance, you want to research on the causes of the scarcity of petrol or fuel, scarcity of something in a particular area, and then you discover this professor is a petrochemical engineer, and then you may write your research proposal, forward it to him, introduce yourself to him or her, and share your interest. If it suits that professor, he might welcome you, and they say, okay, I would love to supervise you in this project. He might not recommend you to then submit an application to the university. In the case of our university, once the professor recommends you, he does that, he fills a form, and that application form, he applies for you to come and do PhD. You get the point? Now, those are the only two ways I know that people get admission. Please, like I said, or I don't know if I said it before, my experiences are based on the case of the Netherlands, US and Canada, and Australia, but mainly on the Netherlands because I have practical experience. And so, maybe in other parts of the world, today before I came to do this program, I was following a certain lady on YouTube, and I discovered that in a country like India, when they want to take, sometimes they have entrance exam to select students for doctoral research. But I still discovered that even with this selection, it still goes through the process of a supervisor. The supervisor decides. Let me quickly say that it is difficult for a university to impose a doctoral student to a professor. So the professor chooses the students he or she wants. That is the point. Now there's another point. Hey, hello, thank you very much. The Dutch guys are very nice guys. You see, the guy just came to greet. That's the Dutch. Very hospitable. So I was just saying that in a doctoral program, what happens is that the professor decides who is actually the person he or she will work with, and he comes now and selects the people and then place them and then recommend them for the university. But I remember before I started my doctoral program, I got admission to study in a university in Germany for Ph.D. also. In that university, I learned that there's what they call structural doctoral program. So the university has two types of PhD students. The ones that are internal, and the ones that maybe are working like job in the school, and the ones that coming external, but both of them, there's what they call structural doctoral program, where the university has a program, just like a master's degree program, where they select students and place them in that program for a number of years that they will go through. Those are very rare cases. I'm not so versed with that. What I know is that to do a doctoral program, to be a doctoral student, it is incumbent that you have a supervisor first. Whether the supervisor has advertised the job online and then you apply, he accepts you, or you sat and you search the supervisor's background and you wrote to introduce your proposal to him or her, and the person interested. In any case, the nerve center of doctoral admission lies, or the key person is the professor. And this person will be a full-time professor to supervise you. Nobody, as I know, can actually force a doctoral student to any professor. And so, to be at the safe side, it is better that you contact a professor in any way. Whether he has advertised his own, I'll share my experience, his information online, or you just saw information and you have a topic. In any case, it is very important that you contact a supervisor first. In Vrij Universiteit, or they call Free University in Amsterdam, I have a classmate that is there, is called Akinola Micheal, just like myself, Micheal. Akinola Micheal told me that in Vrij Universiteit, what happens is that you actually apply to the university. There is a form, but before you apply, they will ask you if you have already contacted a professor that you know. If you say no, they will still go through your application form. But after then, the school will take the pains to look for you a professor, a supervisor. If they cannot get a supervisor for you, that is all, as I know. So at the end of the day, the admission lies in the hand of a supervisor. For them, you may even write a good topic and send to the university. The university think that is nice, but there is nobody in that university that can handle it, or the person that the university authority think that can handle it is already occupied with many other students. Now let me share my experience. And I also want to say, Ph.D. admission, most often than not, the professors focus on your research skills, their research experience. And without any change of word, I remember my supervisor told me that the focus is not too much on your GPA. Maybe you had 3.8 on 4 or whatnot. We are not saying that it's not good to have good grades. No. But we are saying that when it comes to doctoral research, doctoral studies, the key is in the research skills, research design, research management. So if at all you prove to the supervisor that you have good mastery of the research procedures, you will easily be accepted, because at the end of the day, you ease the work of the supervisor. You get the point? Because as a student, as a doctoral student, you are like a child to the professor. So if you don't know a lot of things, you give the professor so much work to explain to you what it takes. But if you're already coming there a bit ready-made, so what am I saying? If you have opportunity to do some courses online or personally and have some proof of your research skills and talent, please do not hesitate. It will help you a lot, because the professors are very busy guys. And so if you already have the talent, the skills to do research, you make their work easy. Let me say how I got my own doctoral admission. I would like to share it because it may help somebody. I remember we went for one of our exchange courses at the University of Groningen, for those who don't need allowance. In that class, I met one nice guy. They call him Professor Dr. Evan Slot. In the class, as the class was going on, I loved the way the guy taught. He was so nice, so soft. After the class, I went to him and said, Professor Dr. Evan Slot. He says, Micheal, how can I help you? I said, I enjoyed this class so much. I said, thank you very much. You are a rare species. Thank you for coming to appreciate. You are behaving like a Dutch. That Dutch are used to this. I said, well, I'm learning to be a Dutch. And so I explained to him that from the way he has he was teaching that was my first time meeting him. From the way he taught, I think that he can supervise me for my PhD. The guy was so happy. So he asked me that what is my topic about? We share it verbally. They say, okay, I should go and he gave me his email. I should go and write and send to his email. Let me read and then we'll meet during next class. My friend, I went now, I focused on it. I wrote everything, my proposal, the research, a few things, idea about what I intended to research. I sent it to him. In the next class, he met me and said, oh, Michael, your topic is so nice. But I'm sorry, I'm not the best person to supervise you. I'm sorry. If I thought I were to be the second supervisor or the third, it can be good, but not the first. I was a bit dumbfounded, to be honest. But something came to my mind like in Giman that, no, ask the next question. Maybe you can use him as a connection point to the next person. So it just came to my mind, and I just asked him. I said, but Prof, oh, I'm glad that you are willing to supervise me, and you think you cannot be the first person. Do you have anybody at heart that you can recommend for me to talk to? And then he thought, he said, oh, I have a friend. She's called Professor Dr. Dorothea Nack. I think that you can contact her. I said, okay, Prof, that the lady is in the same university I am. I said, Prof, our university is very big. I know that name, but I don't know her. What do you think? He said, okay, I'll give you her email. You write to her, and if you like, tell her that I sent you to her. Yo! Ujuh Bukah. My brother or my sister, that was a game changer. When I wrote to this professor, who is my current professor now, when I wrote to her to explain to her how I went to a school, and then I explained myself to somebody, the person recommended her to me, and this is my topic. She read to my topic. She said, well, my topic looks interesting. They should like that we should have a Zoom meeting together. Hey, trust me, I go ja one year. I am called Bukah. My Bukah came out. So I went and did my research, read the woman's article, and this is a prolific writer. I read her books, read things about her. The next meeting that we met with this lady, my potential supervisor, she was discussing her, I explained things to her. I said, I read this her book, it was so interesting. We discussed things, and she told me that, Michael, I love your topic and I'm ready to supervise you. Oh my God! In fact, that was the best response I ever had, because I have always known that the main proof, I have friends like this who got better GPA compared to me. I have friends who have nice topic. They have written their topic, but they cannot find a supervisor. Because the problem with PhD study is having a supervisor. When this woman gave me a go-ahead, from that they became family friends. Professor Dr. Dorothea Nash, God bless you, madam. I'm so grateful. I'm sharing my experiences with you. And from that day, she spoke so well. Those who have heard about the name Thibaut Nack is a famous ambassador, famous American diplomat. He's a famous Thibaut Nack. She is also called Dorothea Nack. They are all from Hungary, but they have been outside. You see. So my dear friend, what am I saying? I'm saying that it's a great thing for us to be able to, first of all, struggle to get in contact with our potential supervisor. It is this supervisor that will connect you to the next level. If the supervisor loves your topic and is interested, and the second is because you must do your research, it's a full-time professor at the university, then you have a go ahead. But that was not all. After the supervisor has accepted me, there are still procedures. And I discovered the importance of this lady when I went to the initial graduate school. Going in the Netherlands, in my university, we have what we call initial graduate school, where the first stage for those who are to enter the PhD program. After about 6 months to a year, you now, if I were to initial graduate school, you're already PhD students, I learned. But there are some stages to be covered until you get to where you become a full-time doctoral student. So that is what I went through throughout this period. My dear friend, I really want to encourage us. Are you interested in doing a doctoral research? Are you interested in doing a PhD? My goal is that sit down, look at the university you are interested in, search for the professor, search his research interest, and see the one that aligns with yours. And then you write to that professor, introduce yourself to the professor, and do your homework. Remember, sometimes you will see a professor, maybe he's an associate professor. In a university, until you are a full-time professor, you cannot be the main professor of the student. And so when you write to the wrong person, you are just wasting your energy. Do your homework. Search the background of the professor. Know what the professor can do, and find out from the professor. And you know that there's another person that I got in the same university that was supposed to supervise me. But when I contacted this guy, he told me that, Michael, I love your topic, but I already have 15 Ph.D. students, so I'm sorry, I cannot supervise you. Can you imagine? So what are we saying? We are saying that it is not easy. You need actually to have somebody who is interested in your topic, is specialized in your field, and has the space, is willing to supervise you. Dear friend, my name is Micheal Ujuh Bukah. I'm glad that you are there. As it's getting dark, we should be taking our leave. Please, are you interested in doctoral admission? Remember, very soon we have talked about admission at Berea College, Kentucky, USA. And we said you can study there for free for a bachelor program. We talk about admission at Tyndale Theological Seminary near Schiphol in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. And so you can study there almost for free. Yes, you can only pay a flight ticket. There's a procedure we'll discuss about that in this video. We promise that the next stage we will look at how you can do PhD at Memorial College, Newfoundland and Labrador in Canada, almost for free. We will handle that subsequently. But this program was just meant to open our heads, to help make people know that there's a big difference between doing a doctoral study, being a doctoral research student, and doing a master's program on a graduate program. So once you know it, the center, please, therefore, the center is at writing a research proposal. If you look into our YouTube channel, you will see previous topics that we have covered. I think one of them is about research proposal. But then, if what you are looking for you cannot find, please drop a comment in the comment section, ask your question. We are going to come back to make a response. This program you are following now on how to gain PhD admission is somebody's question to clarify somebody's doubt. If you have yours too, please equally contact us by dropping your comment in the comment section so that we can come and make a response. I'm glad that you have been there following. Please remain faithful and committed. Please recommend this channel to friends, loved ones, because we do not only handle admission for university, we'll handle issues, topic of how to travel abroad, and of course we'll deal with issue of mental health. And we have a scriptural arguments given to our recommendations. I want to encourage us, beloved in the Lord, that, dear friends, let us stand firm in what we are doing. Let us remain committed, because by this we can succeed. You can also have one of the easiest way to have PhD admission, I was saying my case, is that during your master's program, if you are in a good school, you will meet some potential supervisors there, full-time professors, while you are there. So another way to easily gain PhD admission is either you volunteer. For those who are doing a certain project, you volunteer in a project, or you decide to do a master's program, another master's program, so that during the master's program you'll be looking around. You can also decide to work in a lab where there's a project going on if you're concerned, or you can try to get acquainted with a professor in your area. And once you do this, you create acquaintance, you create relationship, you create understanding, you know what the approach of the professor, what the professor likes or hates, and how you can make your arguments from there. You can easily gain the professor's trust to now sign your form. Once I was accepted by my professor, Dr. Dorothea Nash, she needed to fill a form and sign that she is willing to supervise me. Once you have a potential supervisor, it becomes easy for you. But you can attend the graduate school that will have initial graduate school. If you don't have a supervisor, you will end there. So I want to tell everybody that is willing to listen, make no mistake. It is very, 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 very important to get in contact with a potential professor who is a full-time professor who can supervise you. Once the professor gives a go-ahead, is willing, you are almost 90% inside and a potential doctoral student. But if I don't know where you will say you want to get the admission first, because even if you apply to a university, the university will not take the pains to look for you a supervisor. Maybe they might not find it, and then you are hoping. But if you are doing your stuff yourself, for me, I think that you will know at what level they are. If you are really determined, please get outside there. You might want to do another master's degree program in a university that you think that many professors can open you. And that is why, if you, and this is a program who can help you to do another master's program if you want to guide you, so that in the course of doing another master's program, you open. I described that in my class. Most of our classmates doing PhD, they have more than one master's. I have more than one master's degree. I have more than one. I have a friend that has about 3, 4, because you can have 20 master's degree. It's different from one PhD. And because of the hurdles, the daunting task in the process of gaining PhD admission, sometimes it's a problem. So people are not easily, it's not a smooth path to get into PhD admission. You can easily have admission for master's program, can be admission for program, but when it comes to PhD, it's really sensitive. It's really a type, because the supervisor or potential supervisor must give a go-ahead. Otherwise, who then? Because as a PhD student, PhD researcher, you are working under a full-time professor who guides you or she guides you. So you need somebody who will say, yes, I'm willing to guide this person. Especially in a case where you need a residence permit. That's very, very sensitive. So you need a supervisor who will take the risk, certain things. I used to tell friends that when it comes to doing PhD studies, it's not really the issue of the funding. Yes, because in the Netherlands, for instance, it's basically almost free. There is not a funding in the beginning, but then it is you being able to find somebody who can stand by you and hold your hand. I don't know. I think that this one could be a help to somebody outside there. Please look at it keenly. Are you interested in doing doctoral studies? Then please start now. Develop a befitting research proposal, and then start contacting potential professors. They will help you with the way forward. But let me quickly say that every university has its procedures. That's why I began with a disclaimer to say that my experiences are basically on what happens in the Netherlands. There's a bit of touch from the Canada, USA, and Australia. So if you have another experience, maybe about South Africa, maybe about Cameroon, or about Nigeria, or about somewhere else, I may not know so well. What I'm sharing with you is what I've just explained. I wish you the best as you engage in the next step of your educational career. I wish you the best, and I pray that you have a befitting proposal and you find a professor that is interested in your topic, and then you gain admission to become a doctoral student, so that you can have your PhD and be called doctor this or that. And that will also help you in your career. It will also help you in your capacity building. I think they will also help you in your self-image. You might be able to deliver better to those who are under you. I hear from some friends that my teacher friend at the Theological Seminar, she is called Reverend Dr. Yele Marceline. We hear that her delivery now there's a great impact when she delivers her message now compared to when she was yet to become a doctor. What am I saying? I'm saying that once you are committed like Reverend Dr. Yele Marceline Lambif, and you build that capacity, even the productivity changes. The impression is different. And so we are saying there's a good thing. And I pray that God will continue to bless us. I pray that you will succeed in your goal to do a doctoral studies. Thank you for being there and for being patient. Please remember to drop a comment. Remember to share the link. Remember to recommend the program to somebody else. And remember to ask a question if you have any. And I pray that may God bless you. May God bless us all as we share. Until we meet again, we will keep on sharing our ideas in the name of God. Stay well and be safe.